Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to the Movie Propcast, the podcast where we talk about movies, but really we talk about props at the end there somewhere. You know, we do a little bit of it all, but really we just want to talk about movies. And today, Tyler, I'm Justin, by the way. How you guys doing? We're talking about Home Alone, the Christmas classic. This is part 2 of our holiday double dip, is what we're calling it. I think actually last episode we called it like a 2-pack, and now I'm calling it a double dip because it sounds better this time.
I like double dip.
But we're going to Home Alone, I think a little more universally accepted as a Christmas classic than our last movie that we did, but I still don't care. I've been fighting people off all week.
Yeah, those people are wrong.
Yeah, they're just wrong. It's okay.
It doesn't have to be good to be a classic.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And listen, if anybody craps on one of your favorite movies, you just ask them what theirs are, and then you just start firing away. You know, I think that's the rule of the land when it comes to movies. If you love something and somebody poo-poos it, you just say, hey, man, what's up? What movie you like? And they say, I don't know, Coneheads. And then you say, they look like idiots. And then, whatever. I don't know why why Coneheads.
I don't know, but I immediately started thinking of him like, what was it? He was chewing on like the fuses or like the spark plugs. Yeah. Oh God. I
have that had not crossed my eyes in like years, and Coneheads was the first thing. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about this. We're talking about Home Alone, made in 1990, which I just realized today as I was doing my little pre-research. That's the year I was born. I don't want to date myself, but I'm as old as this movie.
Wait, it took you research to realize you were born in 1990?
Yes, I knew the Home Alone was 90. I just didn't know I was, and I learned that today. So,
wow.
Yeah, I looked at my ID. You know, it's on your license. You can see your date of birth.
I think we all know that, Doyle.
Oh, well, I learned that today. Anyway, Christmas classic. I'm so excited that we're doing this. And again, I'm not even going to get... When we get into this and break this down, obviously we're going to draft the props here at the end. And I think there's some pretty good ones. I'm excited as this is nominated by me. I will get the first pick. So that's going to be good. Because I think at the end it might actually wear a little thin.
So it's funny because you told me that you had the first pick on this movie, and my first thought was, okay, take it, because I knew what I wanted and I was pumped. And then right before the podcast, you and I came to the same conclusion, which was all the best props are in movie number 2.
Yeah. I watched this Home Alone ended, right? And again, I loved rewatching it. I freaking love this movie. It ended, and I was like, damn. All the good stuff is in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. And I was like, damn it, man. I really wish it was that movie. But yeah, I mean, maybe someday down the line, maybe next year we'll get into it. But that's definitely going to be on our radar to do the second one. Because I think that's one of the rare cases where 2 may actually be better than 1.
This and Terminator, I might... Earlier, someone, one of my friends asked me, he was quizzing me because he listened to the podcast. Thank you, Ricky.
Shout out to Ricky.
Shout out to Ricky. And he said he was just giving me like these rapid fire, fast response questions. And one of them was, what Home Alone is the best? And like the troll in me wanted to say 3, but we all know that didn't really happen.
Nah, bro.
And then I said, I haven't seen 2. I watched 1 because of the podcast. I hadn't seen 2 recently, but just because the most items stuck out in 2, I was like, I'm going to go 2 anyway, just because it just stuck out the most to me.
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously not going to get too in-depth on it, but I totally agree. I think 2 is a lot more fun. There's a lot more props for sure. I mean, for this podcast, it's going to be there's a lot more to pick with. But again, there's still some gems in this one, and we're definitely going to get into it. And I think I'm excited. I have the first pick. I'm glad I have the first pick, and we'll be getting to that here shortly. But I just want to say outright, after I finish this movie, and I want to let the audience know, I procrastinated, and I literally just finished watching this movie 20 minutes ago. So I am fresh on this movie, all right?
Real fresh.
Yes, so I'm ready to go. And again, when I was sitting down, you're just locked in, right? Whenever, I don't know how you watch it, but I'm locked in. I have my little pen and paper. I'm taking notes. This movie is so good. It's so, like, it's beautiful. It's like, it's you remember it for, like, the follies of the burglars. And just the back and forth and the craziness, but it's like, it's beautiful. Like it looks good, and there's like heartfelt moments, and like you kind of feel just warm after it.
So normally when we do this, it's normally me saying the really nice stuff and you poo-pooing some of my ideas. This movie did make me feel good. I would like to say I was the most frustrated in the opening, 20 minutes of this movie that I've been in any of our movies so far. Because this was the worst family dynamic I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm not someone who usually dips into anxiety, but if I watching this this family frantically walk around this house, and I yell, scream, cartwheel, whatever they were doing around this house, I'm not sure I would have loved my life if I you know what, I don't blame Kevin. I'm gonna be completely honest.
The thing is, I don't blame Kevin, but Kevin's also a disaster. Kevin is not a well-behaved kid. His parents are super neglectful. His family is terrible. Don't get me on Uncle Frank. We'll get to Uncle Frank, I'm sure, at some point. But this family is neglecting Kevin, making him feel like trash. Kevin's clearly acting out because his family doesn't pay attention to him.
Right.
And I'm just sitting here I can't believe this was what this movie is based on. Made now, I don't know if they make it with the same type of dynamic. Kevin is clearly just crapped on by every other family member, his parents included.
There really wasn't a warm moment. Nobody interacted and had a nice exchange with Kevin this entire time. Even if he was being a little a-hole, he's still somebody's son. You know what I mean? You're still
yes.
He's your brother. There's usually one sibling, especially when there's I tried to count. I think there's 4. I think the McCallisters have 4 kids. I don't know if that's the number I came to.
It's 3 or 4 because it's Buzz, Kevin, and his older sister.
He's got the older sister, but he has another older sister. He's got the one that did the French, the les incompetentes.
That was his sister. I didn't know if that was his cousin or his sister.
Well, because she also referred it to. There are two girls that referred to her as mom.
Okay.
So
okay.
I think I haven't looked it up, but I'm pretty sure there's 4 McCallister kids.
Yes.
So 2 sisters, Buzz and Kevin.
And what mainly broke my heart in this, it wasn't all the nonsense. It was when Kevin spills the milk on the passports. Everyone's giving him the mean eye, and Uncle Frank has his snide remark, whatever, Uncle Frank, go kick a rock. But it's when his parents look at him disappointed and don't give him, they don't side with him. They don't give him anything. Yeah. They just straight up, they literally step on the side with the other family, cross their arms, and then send him to the attic without eating. Without eating, the kid didn't get dinner. He didn't get pizza.
I think we need to break down this scene a little more, okay?
Let's
just first off, I want to compliment the pizza delivery man. In this movie, he had two scenes in this movie, 2 different scenes. Pizza delivery guy was great. All right. And also he comes in, I counted it, right? Because when he said the total was $122.50, I wrote this down. $122.50. I stopped and I'm like, let me count those pizzas. 10 pizzas. And then I did all the math, right? And then later, literally a minute later, the dad comes in. He's like, 10 pizzas, $12 a piece. Yeah, it's 100. That wasn't his accent, but no, $122. I'm like, $12 for it wasn't like a chain restaurant. That's $12 for pizzas.
The thing is, so I delivered pizzas about 7-8 years ago. I delivered pizzas. We charged for a pie $11.87 after tax. It was like $12.20 and change or something like that.
Okay,
so I was actually surprised that pizzas, large pies back then, cost the same. One thing, though, is that if they had toppings, they all should not have been the same price, unless that was some type of special. But they were actually the same price as when I delivered pizzas. I was actually impressed.
Okay, I was on the other side. I was thinking $120 for 12 or 10 pizzas. That's kind of a deal, but maybe we have different pizza suppliers. But
maybe.
Anyway. That's not the point. The point is there was pizza. The exchange between Kevin and Buzz happened because somebody like Buzz sucked down a whole cheese pizza. Why is that? I don't understand. Listen, if that many people wanted just regular ass cheese pizza, why was there only one?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Cheese pizza is that's like the baseline of pizza, right? Just get 5 of them, so no one complains.
Yeah, it's like they ordered a pie per person. Even freaking Kieran Culkin making his little cameo got a whole pie to himself.
Yeah, Fuller as he's sucking down his Pepsi.
That gives him that little smirk, I'm wet in the bed later.
He just like knows it. Like he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. You know, I'm doing this. That's pretty funny. That was a good look there. But I think it's funny, like the product placement in this movie. I'm not like mad at it because it's household items. Like there's a lot of product placement, but I mean, I got tied in the laundry room. You know what I mean? Like you drink soda. Soda's a soda. Like I think that's nice. Like the only thing they missed out on, and I think that they should have done, is they could have got like Pizza Hut to deliver the pizza. You know what I mean? Not Little Nero's.
Look, Little Nero's is a family chain. All right. A family chain in Chicago. I don't know if I'm not from Chicago. I don't know if it's actually a big deal. It might have been back in the 90s.
I mean, if it is, cool. That'd be awesome if that was actually like a local pizza joint, but I doubt it. I don't know. I doubt this movie was actually filmed in Chicago, but who knows?
Yeah, I like the first thing, I don't think of suburbs when I think of Chicago. I'm also not from there, but they are deep in the suburbs. Like there's memes about it. I want to know how Mr. McCallister earns that house, like what he does for that house. Did they say his job?
No, but that's a question that still to this day lives on. I think it goes every year. Christmas time comes and it's like, what did Mr. McCallister do for a living to afford that house? Yeah, and not even. The thing is, he didn't fly, because that was another thing I saw. He thought that the dad actually flew everybody to France. That wasn't the case. It was his brother.
Yeah.
So his brother got a job over there and was like, let me just fly my whole family out. I don't know what he's doing over there, but he's crushing life. If he
Especially
can fly
since
20 people.
Yeah, and half the people were in first class. All the adults are in first class, and the kids were in coach. I was like, what is going on here?
All right, I just looked up the house. This actually it's a 3-story single-family home here's the exact address, 671 Lincoln Avenue in North Shore Village of Winnetka, Illinois.
What single family needs that size of a house?
Right. It's very convenient when 20 family members are in town, but when they're not, to be fair, they do have 4 kids, right? So it's like,
oh yeah, each kid needs
get a wing
2
of the
rooms.
floor.
Yeah, each kid needs 2 rooms. All right, we're perfect. We got this. Okay.
You have your study, and then you have your sleeping area. Yeah,
and you have the attic for Kevin.
Yo, I would have took that whole attic. I don't know why everybody hated the attic in this movie.
Yeah, that
attic would have been mine.
Plush. Yes, that was a plush attic.
Yeah, I was
yeah,
so happy with that. Anyway, back to the pizza scene real quick. The milk gets spilled. Which who the hell's drinking milk and eating pizza? That's weird.
Bad combo.
That's definitely bad. Also, who leaves the passports and the tickets on the kitchen counter where there is drinks and food being served? Why is it just sitting on the kitchen counter?
Around very clearly not well behaved or cleaned kids.
Right.
They were asking for that.
Right. And I didn't notice it until I gave it this thorough watch. The scene where they shoot the garbage can straight down and I paused it and I was like, yo, that's Kevin's ticket.
Yes.
I didn't even realize that. And I guess that makes sense, but that is weird to me. That
yes.
I never noticed that out of all these years. I just assumed that they just left him and that was it. They were okay in the airport but yeah, they left it there. And also now let me go back to Uncle Frank real quick. His line, which I will say is highly quotable, and I say it all the time. When somebody does something dumb and it's awkward. Look what you did, you little jerk. It's the dumbest. Who says that to an 8-year-old?
Yes, what uncle says it? Because he was dead serious. There was no ha ha ha. There was nothing. It was, you're a little jerk.
Yeah, and his parents are like, yeah, he's kind of got a point there, Kevin. What the hell?
Oh, my God. The Uncle Frank was my most hated person in this movie, and there's 2 grown men trying to kill an 8-year-old. Yeah. Let that sink in.
Yeah, you know what? That's not a bold take at all. That's not a hot take. That's the truth. You're just spitting facts right now.
Yes,
that's real life. Okay, so we've gotten that. The look what you did, little jerk. I think again that's a super quotable. If we had a top 10 of quotable lines, that's going in. I think. To me personally, you've never found yourself saying that to people?
No, I didn't.
It's a personal attack. You don't like attacking people.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go. Let's just say, you said I didn't even realize that he didn't even eat anything, right? You sent him upstairs. He didn't even eat anything.
Yeah, his last words were, "I didn't get any pizza," and she was like, "Whatever, go up."
His mom's like, "Maybe you should have thought about that before you, whatever." I don't know. It's ridiculous. But power goes out in the middle of the night. In the morning, they have shuttles that are going to take them to the airport at 8 a.m. Nobody wakes up naturally before 8 a.m.
Yeah, no, that's wild. There's no
Nobody?
way. unless they're like my family and they're getting completely plastered the night before vacation, there's no reason no one wakes up before 8 a.m. Like, I don't understand. None of them were drinking alcohol.
Like
nothing,
20 people in the house.
Yeah, not a single person. Me as a kid, I would randomly wake up at like 7 a.m. every weekend just because.
Right, like, especially like the thrill of going on like a trip like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if I'd fall asleep. Like, that's that's wild to me.
My parents do one of two things. They either party real hard and set alarms, or they straight up don't sleep. And like, I was in North Carolina a few months ago, and I had to catch a 5 a.m. flight. We just played cards all night. We played cards all the way through 5 a.m. and I got on the flight.
That's the way to do tired. That's the way to do it. Yeah, you sleep on the plane. Like, what do you mean? You're going to be on the plane for so long? Like, just
they're going to Paris.
Anyway, all right. This family's ridiculous. I couldn't imagine just being in that atmosphere. I would have been in a corner. I would have been on my little Game Boy or something. Well, it's 1990. No. Was Game Boy late
something.
80s? Yeah, there was something. He had something.
He had something. Look at Mr. McCallister. He had something.
Yeah, for sure. I would have just been playing games in the corner by myself.
He was playing cup ball. He had
ball in a cup. Yeah.
Ball, yes.
Something to entertain yourself. But yeah, that family's whole demeanor is frantic, and obviously that leads to Kevin getting left behind because his ticket got trashed, which I just found out, and they go to the airport. And they count the kid across the street in the head.
Why is that kid in everyone's business?
I don't know. He was in someone's bag.
The kid straight up opened the side door. He's talking to the driver. The driver wants nothing to do with this kid. This kid opened someone's bag and is rifling through people's stuff. He's not a part of the family. Right. Why is he there?
Well, I also don't know, like, the parents. You just gonna trust that your kid is in the vehicle? Like, I would have as the parent or an adult, I would have checked both vehicles right before you leave. Like, I'm not gonna trust a head count to. And why wouldn't you have your kid with you in the vehicle?
I would like to. That's my point. Like, all right, whatever, you trusted your like teenager daughter to count. She counted everyone's name. It's not like they left a cousin. If this movie was like the cousin to the family got left behind, I'd be a little more understanding. His parents, his birth parents, his biological I gave birth to you parents don't realize that my loudest, most troublesome son hasn't made a peep in 4 hours. I haven't had to stop Kevin for anything in multiple hours. Kevin's been the best he's been since he was born in hours. Yeah. That's not suspicious. I was so mad when I realized it was his mother and father who didn't stop to realize Kevin wasn't there. Like, there's so many times that they should have realized Kevin wasn't there.
They're bad parents. It's a bad family all around, I think.
It's a terrible family.
Yeah, terrible family. And the airport scene, 1990s, obviously before 9/11 and all that stuff. So just the fact that they show up to the gate, throw the pile of tickets, and just say, we're all getting on now. Like, that's such
The door was closed already.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore. You can't show up with the door closed and be like, oh, are we on time? Oh, yeah, we were waiting for you. No.
Yeah.
They're not letting you on.
Ridiculous. We haven't even talked about Joe Pesci as Harry, just standing in the doorway as this fake police officer.
He was dedicated to the bit. Like, Joe Pesci was scoping out that place, and he wanted the information. He was there for maybe, like, in real time in the movie, like a half hour.
Yeah. Imagine though, like, this movie made in the exact same way now. Where you're in your home, right? You're trying to get ready for a big trip, and you see a police officer inside your home. Didn't even knock, right? Like, who let this man in?
Yes.
There's just a guy in your house. You're like, dude, can you kindly get the hell out? Like, and
people are just walking by. Yeah, I don't live here. Yeah, I don't live here. Oh, I'm sorry. You just reminded me of another thing that annoyed me. Uncle Frank grabs the pizzas from the pizza boy. He tells him the price, and he says, my brother's got it, and runs away.
Yeah.
In my family, they fight to pay for stuff. Uncle Frank is, I'm sorry, I'm saying this again, he was the worst kind of person in this movie.
And he's getting a free trip to
oh my God. Yeah,
France, and like, he probably is not blood related to the McCallisters either. He's like probably the in-law. He's got to be. He's got to be like, yeah.
I'm sorry. Let's go. Yeah. So Joe Pesci, he's posing as a police officer. He's casing out houses around the neighborhood, trying to figure out who to rob. He's figuring out who's going on vacation, which honestly, brilliant
for the
genius.
90s. Pretty awesome.
Like, his theory is, all right, all these people have automatic lights. If the lights come on exactly when they say, they're more than likely not home because they'd put the lights on at a different time. Honestly, for the 90s, that's
pretty
ingenious.
thorough. Those wet bandits are good.
The,
all right?
the wet bandits.
Those wet bandits, which the dumbest calling card in the whole world.
It's the worst calling card, but I'm going to flash forward real quick when they're running through the last house in the movie and the place is flooded.
Yeah.
And in the background, you see the kitchen sink on.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. I did not notice that as a kid. I was dying.
Yeah, it's so dumb. It's ridiculous. And it's like, for what? Like, you already took everything. Why?
Run up their water bill. It's the winter time. You're probably free. Actually, that stops the pipes from freezing. So he's helping them out a little bit, actually.
It's true. He is kind of doing them a favor. All right.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? They're actually not that bad of human beings now that I think of it. No. Okay. So we're gonna move on. Obviously, they've left Kevin alone in the house. He wakes up. He thinks he's made his family disappear, which is hilarious. And how excited he is about that.
Yes.
This 8-year-old, unreal. Who taught this kid this kind of life experience without the internet? Without the internet, like nowadays, confused. I feel like an 8-year-old could do something like this.
So I'm really confused because I don't remember being that. The first thing he does is rummage through everyone's stuff and just starts breaking things.
All right,
like
to be fair, he didn't mean to break the stuff.
No, that's what I meant. I don't remember being that neglectful as a kid. Like, he's just making a mess everywhere. He's got ice cream and candy bags and food and chips everywhere. I don't remember making those kinds of messes. Kevin gives no cares in the world. Like, he just... Right.
I hear you.
I just don't remember.
He's 8, right? And he's 8.
I don't remember.
He realizes there's no consequences to his actions. He's going all out, bro.
But does he plan to clean that up later?
No. Well, actually,
he does.
That's another story. This man is an incredible cleaner.
Yes, I don't know. I don't understand. Like, between the old man next door had to help him. I'm sorry, he had to have help. Probably with all the stuff all the antics that happened. And again, we're gonna get into all that. But at the end of the movie. That was one thing I was saying. Like, he directs the police to the opposite, like the house across the street to get them arrested. So there's no heat on his house, right? Yep. And spends the next hours through the night to clean the house. Like, it's immaculate when his mom shows up in the morning. It's insane. Yeah. And I'm super proud of him. All right, listen, that kid. Very proud of him. Amazing. And what sucks is that, like, they don't know. Like, the family shows up and they have no idea this even happened. I guess my question would be, if you're the neighbor, right? If you're the neighbor, the shovel guy, which I just found out his name is Murphy, apparently. I guess he had an actual name. Oh, yeah. Or Marley. His name's Marley in this movie. In my mind, I just refer to him as the To Kill a Mockingbird guy because he got Boo Radley'd real hard. It's just like, oh, yeah, that's our neighbor over there. He killed 3 people. Just ignore him. Don't mind him. No one talks to him. He's just a murderer. It's okay. We all know. Okay, so let's just establish quickly his name is Marley, but I want to call him Shovel Guy. He, just real quick, before we're on the end of the movie, we're already talking about it, so might as well just say this real quick. Isn't it kind of like your civic duty as a human being to tell the parents of this child what happened? Probably. You're the neighbor. Yes. And your kid was about to die. Yes. Right? Yes. You want to maybe notify your parents? Or did they have like a pact where the 8-year-old he winks at him. He's like, hey, bro, could you do me a favor and just not snitch about this whole I almost died situation? Yeah. I don't know why Marley doesn't, especially being an older adult himself. I guess they bonded in the church, which was another scene that felt a little out of place to me. He opened his heart to this 8-year-old that he just saw 3 times in one day. Right. And okay. To be fair, those interactions from this guy, super creepy. Right. Real creepy. Why staring at an 8-year-old. Say something, you creep. Yeah. Like, you're the one making it weird. He's obviously afraid of you. He's 8 years old. Say something. You can't just stare at an 8-year-old and not freak him out when you look like crackhead Santa Claus. Yes. Every time you see him, you just give him the death glare, expecting him to think that's an inviting welcome. No. It's messed up. It's messed up. It's terrible. So. Yeah. I just don't understand why he opened up to him. It was a cute scene at the church. He told him about his grandkids and his family problems. Honestly, he probably didn't tell Kevin's parents because he was too busy reuniting with his son and his granddaughter, who he hadn't seen in like 5 years.
Which I will say was awesome. That scene in the church, to me as a kid, was always the most boring. I'm like, what are these, knuckleheads talking about? Just get back to the zany nonsense, please.
Yes.
But when you sat down and watched it, the way that was shot, super close up, like there was the lens action that was going on, it was beautiful. Like what they were saying was, now as an adult, you're like, yo, this is heavy stuff. Like this is like,
it was very heavy.
Yeah,
very heavy.
I didn't realize that there was this much emotional thing. You don't even, as a kid, you're just watching it for the nonsense and how ridiculous that this kid is fighting off these burglars. But there's like real emotional stakes going on. I don't know. It was intense. As an adult watching it, you're like, okay, all right, this is nutty.
It was. And back to, so we were talking about Kevin's making a mess in the house, right? Kevin's on his own. He realizes I could do whatever I want. He finds like $25 in Buzz's stuff, which in the 90s is apparently enough for an entire weekend to yourself. And simultaneously, his parents realize, oh crap, we got to Paris, Kevin isn't here. And one of my favorite lines was they give everyone like quarters for the payphones. One, they kick a poor French woman off the phone, and his mom gives her address book to her sister, who she gives her this thick book of phone numbers and it's like, call the neighbors. And I loved it just for the novelty of it, because it's just like, no one carries an address book anymore. It's in your phone, obviously. But
well, thank goodness. Yeah. No, that's right. They used to have those ready. Yeah.
Like if that happens now and everyone's phones are dead, they're screwed. Because I would love to know how many people off the top of their heads know more than 5 phone numbers.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think anybody. There's a meme going around right now where it's like, Me in prison calling J.G. Wentworth because it's the only number I know.
That's amazing.
You're right. Like nowadays, no one's remembering phone numbers like that, and I try to. You know what I mean? Like I just learned my wife's phone number after like 6 years. So.
Oh God, Doyle.
I did it, and the only reason I memorize it is because it's the account number for our like shopping thing at a grocery store over here.
Oh my goodness, Doyle.
Listen, we got it. I got it down. All right. To be fair, she did flip flop numbers, right? So the original number had gone away, right? And then I remembered.
Who lets their original phone number expire? I just fought with T-Mobile. They tried giving me a new number, and I was like, "Oh hell no!" It was a process.
Okay, so what happened was she had her original phone number with I don't know what it was, AT&T or something. Like this is, we're getting way off topic, but just real quick. Yes. So now you guys, you're on the edge of your seats. You need to understand how this was resolved. So she had an original phone number. She got a work phone, and the work was paying for her phone on a different phone line, and that she just assumed that phone number for the years that she was working at this place. And then when we left that place, we're like, yo, y'all still got that phone number that we had back in the day? And she just got it right back.
Oh my goodness. That's rough. That's a close call.
So now that you guys are thoroughly entertained about cell phone numbers and transactions, let's get back to the film.
Can we talk about how infuriating those police were? When they're trying to call the police to check up on Kevin, and they're not listening to a word the mother is saying.
Yeah, they're immediately. And you know what? I mean, you'd think that you call 911 for an emergency, it would be different, but I feel like that wasn't the emergency line. You know, they were probably not calling the emergency line.
But it doesn't matter. You're calling the police,
right? You got to think. I mean, yeah, they're horrible police officers, obviously.
They send her back and forth 3 times, and then they're frustrated with her because she's worried about her child. How dare she?
Right. Yeah. Obviously, I'd be losing my mind too. But what's funny is they do wind up sending a police officer. However, this dude just knocks like 2. Like, I mean, to be fair, he does actually. You know what? He did knock for a decent amount of time. All right. But lights are on. You've been told that there's a child, 8 years old, alone in the house. You'd think maybe you'd just like say something through the door, or like, you know what I mean, try to communicate in a way that's like disarming, you know, not just
say the kid's name.
Yeah, not just like banging on the door at night, like that's gonna get some kid to come open it by himself. Yeah, this
movie, aside from Kevin in the last 40 minutes, is filled with incompetence.
Yeah, I mean it has to be because it's a comedy, and it's the 90s, and you have to be dumb.
It's just like until Kevin started ratcheting it up, it was just back-to-back mistakes that I was angry about.
Yeah, that's fair. It's there. The only smart person in this movie is Kevin. I think
Yes.
we've determined that.
So I was actually going to transition to this. So Kevin finds money in Buzz's in his brother Buzz's trunk, destroys Buzz's room, and then Kevin smartly, once he starts, realizing, okay, this is possibly a long-term thing, decides he's going to start caring for himself. Kid starts doing laundry.
Right, I wasn't doing laundry till I was like in my teens, bro. Like mid-teens.
He's doing laundry. He's got a healthcare routine every day. You shower, blow dry your hair, brush your hair, throw on aftershave, put on deodorant, smack your face, and scream like every day. Got to do it. I love it. And then he goes shopping by himself, like with his. I don't know where on earth you could buy groceries with only $20, but he does.
I mean, he only got a few things, but back then, I think groceries were definitely cheaper. I mean, I think he could have swung that.
Yeah, so he goes, buys groceries, and he runs into the second smartest character in this movie, the cashier, who looks at him, and she's like, so, where are your parents? In the car. Really? And then she just rattles off like 3 questions, like, who's your mom? Who's your dad?
And then she crosses the line that's like, where do you live, little boy? Like,
yeah,
it gets weird for a second, but
it
I
does.
get what she's doing.
But yeah, she's trying to make sure this kid isn't by himself, and I had to respect that. She, honestly, second smartest character in this movie.
I'll tell you another dumb person, and it's another police officer. When he's walking out of the store with the toothbrush and runs away from the guy who, again, the neighbor, who just comes in there and stares at him with a bloody hand.
Yes.
Why are you slamming your hand on the counter and staring at an 8-year-old? Again, you're creepy, bro. You're weird.
Yes.
Anyway, he runs out with the toothbrush, and the worker comes out, sees a police officer who's clearly giving like a traffic ticket to somebody. Right? He's in the middle of something, and he's like, shoplifter. To an 8-year-old holding what is just like a stick, right? I mean, you might be able to identify it as a toothbrush, sure. This man drops everything and says, now's my time to shine, and chase this 8-year-old who ran away with a toothbrush. Like, come on, what are you doing?
I love something that didn't really age well. I love that he's asking, is this toothbrush FDA approved? And now every toothbrush now smack dab right on top, right in front. Everything has to say if it's FDA approved.
Yeah, and it's 9 out of 10 dentists approved. They say this is the best toothbrush you can buy. Okay, so they're going back. Obviously, he's back in the house. He hears that they're going to come back. The burglars. We haven't even really talked about the burglars, but they're just kind of traipsing around the neighborhood.
I have a question. So Doyle, you're a burglar, right?
Yeah, I am.
You've already cased 4 houses. You've robbed 4 houses, destroyed 4 houses. You try one house, right? You try a really nice rich house. You go once, and you hear someone watching TV, and you're like, okay, that's weird. I'm not gonna rob this house. You get a weird feeling, and you go back, and you see that house throwing a party. Right? So that's night 2, and you're like, okay, all right, they're throwing a party.
Let me stop you there real quick. The party? Yes. Who's got that many mannequins in your house? Why do you have so many mannequins?
I have I think his mom, honestly, just me looking at the background of the basement, I think his mom was in some type of like clothing design or like some home thing. She had a lot of fabrics around. Okay. And there were a bunch of mannequins. I don't know if she like made clothing, but I think
so. They
might have been
sort
her
of
job.
Tried to justify why there were so many mannequins. Okay,
yeah.
That
if you
makes
see
sense.
when he's doing laundry, there's a lot of like fabrics and stuff. So I think she made clothing or something along those lines.
Good. All right. You've okay. I'll put the guns away. All right.
So you're a robber again. Get back in your robber pants.
Yep.
All
I'm
right.
in.
So you try to rob the same big house a second time, and they're throwing a party. You're robbing one of the other houses, and you hear that the parents aren't in town. Do you try a third night to rob this house that very clearly, in your perspective, has had 2 people in it? Or you say, nah, it's not worth it. I'm going to stick to the other houses I know.
I'm gone, bro. I'm done.
Thank you.
The neighborhood is hot. It hasn't aligned. This isn't going to work, all right? However, Harry's addicted to this house, right? This is his white whale. He wants this booty, right? You know what I mean? As a pirate would say, there's booty in that house, and he wants it.
He doesn't even know what the booty is.
No.
He just wants what he thinks is there.
Right. And then, to be fair, though, there's probably some awesome stuff in there.
There's probably a lot of awesome stuff in there.
Would I fight off a kid, possibly murder him to get into it? No. I think I'd draw the line there. I'd probably draw the line at murder.
Well, yeah, they're the wet bandits, not the wet murderers, not the wet killers.
Yeah, but I mean, they were about to do it. I think they were about to do it.
They were all about it.
Okay, so I mean, I think we've kind of laid this out, right? I think we might be able to get into.
Oh well, yes.
Well, hold
please.
on. I'm just trying to figure out, like, obviously there's a lot more back and forth that we haven't really touched on the burglars and stuff like that. But I just don't understand the logic of them just deciding that this is our block. And
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize burglars claimed territory.
Turf? Yeah.
Like turf. Like who are you fending off to say that this is my neighborhood? Like if another burglar showed up, are you just gonna like duke it out? Like, or are you just gonna be like, let's get the hell out of here? Like,
yeah, they're not like they're gangs or anything. These are two guys who just came into this rich development and decided this is ours. Like they're not gangs. Like I could understand rival gangs having a turf, whatever, but it's just like, nah, I'm robbing this house for this weekend. You better not step into the houses I'm trying to rob this weekend.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's dumb, and I guess it's time to draft now, right? Let's get into it. You were gonna say something. What's up?
The shenanigans.
What's up?
The whole point the movie's about.
Oh, no. I mean, listen. That's where the props are, baby.
True.
We'll get into the shenanigans, all right? But the shenanigans are half the fun with the draft, all right?
Okay.
So listen, let's do the draft, and if we miss any shenanigansies, which is a word I just made up, we'll get into them afterwards, all right? But I feel like we're going to tiptoe around a lot of this stuff, and we can get into it here.
I would like to say right off the bat, I didn't relook at my list. My number one prop is not even a prop in this movie. It's a prop from the second movie.
I think I know exactly what it is, too.
I wrote it in before the movie started, and I didn't go back to take it out. That's a whoopsie by me.
A whoopsie doopsie.
Yep,
okay.
I'm glad you got the first pick. Cause
you know what? I'm actually less happy about it because I obviously we went through the movie. I made my list of props. I didn't even take the time to rank them because I wasn't. I just was taking too long to put the ones at the top. Like to this moment right now, I don't know where I'm going.
Okay.
So that's what's scary right now. Is like I wrote down a lot of stuff. It's. There's one thing I know for sure I'm going to try to grab at the end. I think. Mm-hmm. But I just honestly, there's a lot of things I want to get, but I'm really like the draft strategy here.
I don't have an organization. This is gonna be the most what comes to my mind first draft so far. Like I have my 7 ideas, and I think I'm with you where I don't have a particular order, so I'm basing mine off you.
This may actually be thus far the worst for like the top. Like I feel like this. Like you remember we were talking like will there be a chance where the second one will be better or maybe equal to or better than the first? I think we're about to experience that, and it sucks that I'm the one that's just gonna get. I'm gonna get boomed right here. There's so many things that are just all like on the same level.
Everything is very middle of the pack, and nothing stands up above the rest. I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. I'm so scared right now.
You sound like me. Oh man,
I'm gonna waffle. Like this is guys, just hunker down, bro. This is gonna be a slog. We're in it right now. I should have come prepared knowing that what I was gonna do. But here, let me just scroll up and down. I can't say anything out loud.
Doyle is going through it right now, guys. If you are not on YouTube, if you are listening on Spotify or Apple, his face right now.
Just so everyone knows, we can buy some more time here. You can check us out on YouTube. Search the movie Propcast. Give us a subscribe over there, and we'd appreciate it a lot. But you can watch us the whole podcast. We record it on video tape, and we send it to YouTube, and they take it off of the VHS tape and put it up on their servers so you can watch the live
Doyle,
podcast.
Was that a hint?
Shh. No. Now I feel like I got to.
No. I was poking fun, man. I'm just trying to make you squirm.
I almost want to just pick. I want to pick the one that I know I want to leave with, and I may have given a hint, and that's probably why I said it. but I want to just do it because I want you to pick, so it kind of makes it easier on me. You know what I mean? I just want to go after you. So I'm
gonna be I'm gonna be upset if it's
stop.
No, I'm just gonna say one thing I've learned through these podcasts. Like the very first episode, I thought we were gonna have nothing similar, and I'm starting to realize how much we have in common when it comes to these things. It's absolutely absurd.
There's no way that this one. I think this one. There's no way. There's no way.
Okay.
I don't think we're gonna be as upset.
So, well, okay. I'll let you go. You guessed my first pick. I almost want to guess your first pick.
Oh, I didn't guess it. Your first. You mean the first pick for the second movie?
The first movie. You guessed what I wanted. You guessed my second pick for it.
Okay. All right. No, if you
guessed
want, yeah. No, you're talking about. Okay, if you want to take a shot. I don't. I mean, you might.
I don't want to ruin it. Go.
Okay.
Go.
All right. So here's what I'm going to take. And it's it might be a little bit of a deep cut, especially for the first pick. But there's a story behind it, and I love it. I'm taking Angels with Filthy Soul, the VHS tape.
Wow.
Angels with Filthy Souls, the VHS tape that he pops in and utilizes throughout the entire movie to order a pizza to fend off the burglars.
I'm not even upset with that. That wasn't even on my mind.
Bro, I looked it up.
Yes.
I had to look it up. I did a little research afterwards because I was like, what is this movie? I want to watch it. I want to see like what that movie is. They made that movie for this movie.
That wasn't a real movie?
No, they filmed it they filmed a fake like minute and a half, like a minute and a half scene for this movie so he could play it on loop.
I thought that was a real movie. I thought that was a real movie this whole time.
No, what's funny is I looked up an article and it was they do a whole story about how the whole scene was fake. Seth Rogen had tweeted, "My entire childhood is a sham. I thought that movie. I thought I could go on and watch that movie."
This look on my face, like I have this dumbfounded. My mouth was open just now.
Yeah, it's not a real movie. Black and white gangster film. Kevin McCallister tries to tempt his family. Whatever. Anyway, it's a 1:20 clip written and filmed exclusively for Home Alone. And it was shot in one day on a soundstage inside of abandoned high school gymnasium.
I'm absolutely, that is, you stole that first pick. If I had known that background, I might have even considered it. That was not even on my radar.
So, yeah, no, I mean, there was a short scene where you see him pop in that VHS tape, and I'm looking at all the other VHS. There's like a Bruce Springsteen one on top. He's got all these other weird things. I'm like, what the hell is this movie? So I looked at Angels with Filthy Souls to see what it was. It's a fake movie that they filmed it. And apparently the title does reference a real gangster from a 1938 movie starring James Cagney called Angels with Dirty Faces.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, that's it. That's my pick for the first one. It's got a little story. I feel like now that I've said the story, I feel a little bit better about picking it first.
My reaction didn't make you feel better. I'm flabbergasted.
Well,
I don't even use that word.
No, you should. It's a great word, and I'm happy you used it. But that's my first pick, and I'm sticking to it. And now you're up.
You took the wind out of my sails. I'm torn between two things right now, but I don't think you're gonna take the second. So my first is gonna be Buzz's pellet gun.
Damn, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That was his weapon of choice. Like Buzz. The only disappointing thing is, a lot of pellet guns look like that, but it was his weapon of choice throughout the movie. So
yes, for sure. When he immediately shoots Harry right in the crotch.
Yeah. Go.
No, he uses it to shoot him in the crotch. He shoots Marv right in the forehead, and yeah, he was playing with it obviously early in the movie, shooting it. Yeah, it's got a lot of screen time, and it is technically his weapon, right? That's his weapon.
So Marv sticks his head in the doggy door.
Yeah.
Why shoot him in the forehead? You shoot Marv in the eye, this movie probably ends. This movie probably ends right away.
And it probably gets a PG-13 rating, though.
Yeah.
Because his eye explodes.
Yeah, this movie is over right away. Yeah. I just wanted to ask you, like, do you shoot Marv in the forehead or do you shoot Marv in the eye?
I mean, yeah, you try to you shoot to kill, but you have a BB gun, like a little pellet gun. Like, I mean, what are you gonna really? It's probably not going through. He's probably not got that violent of a tendency to be like, if I just explode this man's retina, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not thinking like that. He just wants to make contact and thwart him any way he can.
That is very true. But yeah, so I will go with the pellet gun for my pick number 1.
That was where I was at. I was gonna do that first, but I just thought if I didn't read this story earlier today, I would have gone BB gun. But I want that VHS tape because it's got a little extra oomph, and you could pop it in and be like, this is probably like one of the only copies ever of this on actual VHS.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's a great first pick.
It's pretty awesome. All right, so now I've got a VHS tape, which doesn't really look. I mean, it's a VHS tape, but it doesn't. You got a VHS tape, and that's your movie prop for this movie. It doesn't really work. I need something that actually was utilized.
I've got butterflies.
What?
I got butterflies. I'm nervous.
Why? What do you think I'm going to take from you?
I can't say because you'll take it.
I don't know. Well, why would? See, now I'm upset. Oh, here it is. This is a good one. I'm definitely I'm happy with this one. I'm happy to get it at number 2 because the BB gun's gone. That was really the struggle because we flatlined. I feel like everything's kind of, like you said, everything's kind of plateaued here. I'm going to take, and I will display it prominently in my driveway, the metal statue in front of the house that just gets beat with every vehicle that pulls into the driveway.
Yes.
Just smashes into this. I don't know why everyone's such a horrible driver, but I thought it's so funny that like every character in this movie was seen picking this statue up off the ground. Like it's so stupid.
It's hilarious.
Okay. So that wasn't on your radar, no?
No, not at all. Not on my list. I didn't think of it.
Okay.
Doyle, I'm going to apologize to you right now because I might have sandbagged you a little bit. I think I have the absolute steal at number 2.
Well, technically number 4 in the draft.
Number 4. My number 2. Yeah, my number 2 pick.
Okay, I'm curious.
Something to display prominently in my home.
Okay.
I want the McCallister's front door with the glowing red doorknob.
You want the door?
I want the whole door that Harry burns his hand on.
Okay. All right. No, that's solid. It wasn't on my list, but that's pretty good.
I feel like the burning of the hand scene, if you think about Home Alone, that's one of the iconic scenes. Like the burning of the hand scene, and then actually, what else? Like for me personally, at least, him burning his hand is one of the first things that I always remember when I think of this movie.
Okay, yeah, so that's solid. That's solid, and you could tell. Obviously, it's just a red light in a doorknob. You know what I mean? It's not like actually like burning, but no, that's a solid pick. Somebody actually had to handcraft that doorknob with the M. Imagine being so rich that you could put your family, you could inscribe your family's letter on your doorknob. Like, who's doing that nowadays? That's not a thing. Also, no one's really got turn knobs for their front doors, I feel like.
No.
I feel like they got like a little... It's like a latch or something. Anyway, well, let's not get into that. That's a good pick, though. It wasn't on my list, but I kind of mad that I didn't put it on there. At least the doorknob. You know what I mean? The doorknob is iconic for just burning him, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a VHS tape. I have a metal statue. I'm going to be mad if I leave without something because it's kind of like my thing. And I don't want to leave without it, but I think I'm going to have to. I think I'm going to have to get away from it. I'm going to take, like you said, his hand getting burned is an iconic moment.
YouTube people, my face right now because I know where he's going. All right.
Some would say his head getting burned is also an iconic moment. So I'm going to take Harry's burned beanie.
Yes, that was my number 3. That was
all right. That's fine.
That was 110% my number 3. Why aren't they dead?
Oh, you know what? It was funny. I was waiting for a scene again that I know a character like literally actually dies, and I was like, wait a minute, that was in the second one. Like that was in the. I thinking of. They had just blended together, and I was like, it could just as easily be in this movie. Like,
can I ask? Is a skeleton involved?
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
Yeah. He actually perishes. Yes. The man dies. Yes, I was waiting for it to happen. I was like, I guess it's not. Oh, no, it's not this movie. All the good stuff happens in 2.
Can we talk about him probably getting tetanus after this?
Oh yeah. He
steps on like a 7-inch nail.
Yeah, they don't show that. They don't show that. Thank goodness, but yeah, it's tough.
That was and Kevin's sadistic little butt set that up He put the tar so he lost both shoes. Like, if you watch the steps as he's going up, he loses both shoes, both socks, his scarf.
What an absolute moron to not, after the first step where you've already lost one shoe, to be like, I'm not. Every step seems to have this on it, right?
Yeah.
like you shouldn't be looking. You should have seen the nail after examining steps. I don't know.
And even after stepping on the nail, he goes through the window. He doesn't look down. Going through the window and steps on the Christmas ornaments.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, what? How far is the horizon in that living room? You know what I mean? Like, just look where you're putting your bare feet. Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. They're not smart people. But again, it works to the movie's advantage. You got to have idiots.
100%.
They got to be dumb. If they're smart, then what? The kid's dead. Then you got a weird movie. You got a really weird movie.
So, my final pick, I've got Pellet Gun. I've got My Front Door. I'm happy right now. I'm sitting pretty.
Okay.
I'm torn between two things, except one of these I feel like is unique to the movie and can't be gotten, while another thing was more of a public device.
Okay.
So my final thing is going to be Kevin's battle plans drawing.
Oh, damn. That's good.
I'm displaying Kevin's crayon crafted battle plans, because that got me. I didn't even know he did that. I forgot he did that.
Right.
When he unrolls that paper and you could see his plans to booby trap, and oh my god, that was ingenious.
You said booby. We're mature. We're mature people here.
Yes.
I do want to note. I just want to say one thing. When they're at the church having that conversation, his name's Marley, the shovel neighbor guy, where they're actually having a real conversation, and it's again, I will say, I'll go on record, it's a beautiful moment. It actually is, and I'm not being sarcastic. It's like actually, it's like a beautiful conversation. The bells start ringing on the clock. It's 8:00. I counted. I was like, because they said they were going to be there at 9. The burglars were going to be at his house at 9. He's at the church at 8. He then runs home from the church at 8. Draws a battle plan.
Yes.
They didn't have that. He decided then that he was going to fight, right? So he runs home, draws a exquisite battle plan, right? And sets the whole house up. Sets the entire house up before 9.
Was it 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. he's at the church?
PM. It was dark. And it was at night, and they were just practicing choir. And he runs straight home and sets the house up in under an hour.
Doyle, I have a hard time getting dressed in under an hour, and you're telling me this kid booby-trapped an entire home.
Yes.
He set up a zip line.
Well, I'd like to think that zip line's actually... There's no way he set that up. Like, I think that was probably...
You saw him take the rope, and he went across, and he put...
Did he? Oh, my God. I didn't even see that. I just assumed that was like something that the parents were like, this will be a great idea, honey. 3rd floor zip line.
No, he set that up.
Oh,
that was a part of his setup. That's insane.
Yeah, under an hour this kid did it. I don't know how he did it, but I would like to see a follow-up to this movie where he's like some sort of like assassin... I don't know. I don't know what it is.
A home-based assassin. He only kills people with household equipment.
Right. That's it. He's like, what do you got? He calls up, what do you got in your house? Could you list off some things? Yeah, I can kill somebody with that. Okay, sure. That's insane to me that he did all that. And it's not even under an hour. It was probably under like 45 minutes because he ran on foot from the church to home. You got to think that took some time.
That's insane. I didn't even catch that. But please tell me some of your honorable mentions.
Okay. All right. So let me cross off metal statue. That was the first thing I wrote down because I was like, I knew that thing got beat the whole movie. And like, they just were, I don't even know who the guy was, what the guy was. I don't know. I didn't really get a clear shot of it. It's a statue of some guy. It's probably somebody prominent, or I would imagine. I just don't know what it was. He just kept getting hit. It's hilarious. I wrote down Kevin's airline ticket from the trash.
Okay.
I mean, it had his name on it. It was an airline ticket. It's literally the whole reason why people just kind of brushed it off because his ticket got thrown away. Joe Pesci, as Harry, was in the house across the street. He was playing with the kaleidoscope.
I thought about that.
I was like, that kaleidoscope's kind of awesome.
And that was an old school. That was like one of the first drafts of a kaleidoscope because when we were kids, we didn't have those kind.
No.
His was like golden with like 2 distinct pieces. Our kaleidoscopes are like small and you just rotated the tube itself. He like was spinning a dial. It looked like I forgot what they were called, but those red glass things like the where you put the white film in and you click it and it rotates.
It's like a viewfinder or something. No,
yes.
Yeah.
They had a specific name, but it was like that where it took you like Egypt and
Yeah,
Paris.
it's pretty. That was pretty sweet. So, and just because it was shiny, I was like, got to go on the list. And then one more thing, I'll let you rattle off a few on your list, but this is one that I must mention because it's kind of been my tradition to draft these type of items, and the Michael Jordan cardboard cutout.
Doyle,
if I
could share screen with you right now, number one on my impromptu list is Michael Jordan cardboard cutout.
I wanted it, bro. I
knew you did, and that was the thing is that's something you can get right now.
I know,
but it was number one on my just first draft of the list, and that's hilarious. You said that. I almost got that third.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is you see it initially in Buzz's room after he's climbing that. It's on the background. I thought it was like a wall sticker because it had like the height chart. I thought it was like a Michael Jordan, how tall are you type like wall sticker. Yeah. And then he's got it out and about for like the rocking around the Christmas tree party that was going on. Yeah. And I was like, that's on the list, bro. That's on my radar because you know me. I just want a room full of cardboard cutouts. Yeah,
you love it. I mean, it could go right up next to Little Susie.
Little Susie, man. Again, but the thing is, like, I don't even fully draft them. I just they're on my radar. I'm just like a big cardboard cutout guy. But what's on your list? You got any leftovers? Or no?
Yeah, I got a couple leftovers. So I got the OK Plumbing truck because you with cardboard cutouts, me with vehicles.
Yeah. Well,
I had that.
Yeah.
I also had Little Nero's Pizza, but I'm not sure if I wanted the pizza box or the delivery car.
I thought about putting the box, but also the sign that just plops on the car could have been a good one too. Yeah.
Yep. I had the Emerson TV VCR combo in his kitchen.
The little kitchen TV was on my radar. That was
the little kitchen.
Was like,
that's where I thought you were going when you went with the Angels Filthy Soul. Is that what it? Angels?
Yeah, no, it's called Angels with Filthy Souls. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I thought you were going when you said the VHS.
No.
And then the other three we named: the Battle Plans, Pellet Gun, and the Burned Hat.
One thing, selfishly, as a child in the 90s, I loved these things, and I wanted every single one I could possibly get. The Micro Machines. Bro, yes. I loved Micro Machines. I was like, these are like my favorite things in the whole world when I was a kid. So I would have scooped all those puppies up and probably just played with them.
I'm surprised that neither of us said the gold tooth.
It was the last thing I wrote down at the very end because, again, like I said, Kevin has a bright future in home cleaning. Yes. But he left a gold tooth on the ground. He just was like, "What? Hey, I think that was planned." He's like, "I just want him to know that maybe they'll follow the breadcrumbs."
And it's funny because the gold tooth ends where we see it for the first time too, like almost right exactly where he was standing.
It's true.
Where he flashes his smile at Kevin, or it wasn't a Kevin, it was probably one of his cousins. He flashes his smile. You see the gold tooth. He's standing in that foyer, and that's where the dad finds it. It was a nice little circle, full circle.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, I got you. That's it. So yeah, I mean, we talked about it. I think I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like you're feeling pretty good. I don't know.
I feel real good.
All-time top prop list though, is anything really penetrating it? I mean, I know that we've done a lot of movies thus far. I don't think that. I mean, definitely not top five stuff here.
If this was movie 2,
yeah. We'd have to risk something, but I think from our movies prior, I don't think this is going to get. And we haven't posted the actual list yet.
Yes,
it's coming. All right, it's coming. We want to fill it up to the top 10. We'll get the top prop list out on our social media at Movie Propcast on Instagram, and then we do a TikTok every once in a while.
Yeah. In all seriousness, I do not think any of these make top prop lists. Maybe. And you would ideally think all of our number one picks would be on the list. No. But I think Harry's burned hat would probably make a running for like a top prop.
It's possible, yeah, because that is iconic. When you see it, you're like, oh, yeah, I remember exactly what happened and where that came from. Sure, yeah. It's got to be like we're drafting from a lot of personal. Yes. We're not drafting to necessarily win a vote, which, maybe we'll get to that point where we get the votes out there and putting it up there. But, yeah. It's I think I'm feeling pretty good about it. Again, the one prop that I thought would have made the top prop list, it was in 2.
It was my number one prop. I guarantee it before we both even say anything.
So we'll remember this. We'll definitely remember this draft whenever we wind up doing Home Alone 2, and we'll I'm sure whoever nominates it first. But it won't be. I guess we could do Home Alone 2 anytime, but it is technically a holiday movie.
In all fairness, next holiday season, you get first pick because I got first movie. I got Jingle All the Way, even though it was like unanimous, but I got first pick, so you naturally get first pick.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. I never do what people expect. All right. You think I'm just going to roll out Home Alone 2 just because I want that? No, I probably won't. But maybe I will.
Right.
But maybe I will now that I said that. Who
Oh
knows?
no.
I like to keep you guessing. I'm crazy like that. Anyway, this has been the movie Propcast. I feel like this has been a pretty good one. Home Alone obviously is close to, I think, anybody who's in our age range and grew up in the 90s. That's like right up your alley. I mean, you watched every holiday season, and just the idea and the concept of a kid that's just like you beating a bunch of idiot burglars around your house. I think it's kind of an awesome concept to know that it kind of like alleviated some of the fear. It's like, yeah, okay, you want to step to me? I can do this to you. And then in reality, they would have just murdered you. So
I will say, I feel like this movie is one of the few that transcends our generation. I feel like a lot of people know Home Alone.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? I think it holds up. I mean, aside from the horrible parents and the no internet in the payphones, it holds up. I mean, the message is still there. I think it's still got a pertinent message, and I think that it's just a good. It's much better than it needed to be. If somebody had this concept now, it would have been a slapstick, poorly, like if Netflix got a hold of this and did an original Netflix movie, it would have been a hollow
It'd be so
shell.
bad.
It would have been a hollow shell of a movie, and
it would be way too over the top, trying to make it too funny. Like Home Alone 3 was not great, but still kept true to what they were trying to do, even though it's a time where I think they should have had cell phones by Home Alone 3.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, they were at least close because they had laptops in Home Alone 3.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it does hold up, and I think it like I said, if it was made nowadays, if they remade this, it would be ass. I don't think it'd be good. It just the personal touch, the emotional aspect. No one's grabbing it with this movie.
I will say it's gonna feel very weird when we do a movie and I don't see a payphone in it.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a real weird feeling.
I've gotten very comfortable.
Yeah, I've been getting real comfortable with movies where a payphone is in at least 2 scenes.
Yeah.
So when we do one without one, I'm gonna feel very out of place. I'm gonna be looking for a payphone.
We've been real safe in this sweet little '90s bubble, but I think we're gonna be moving out of it here pretty soon. So just be on the lookout. Episodes coming soon. I think we'll take a break till after the holidays, and then we'll be back with more movie Propcast content. Tyler, it has been an absolute joy, my friend.
It's been a pleasure. I hope you and the family have a happy holiday. You guys at home, happy holidays. No matter what you celebrate, we will see you guys very, very soon.
Yes, that's a beautiful message. And now that I'm talking, I'm now ruining it. So just what he said, and we're gonna get out of here. See you later. Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Yeah, there you go.
God, we love him so much.